Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I wanted to give my thoughts on the PTS, and for those of you who've seen, I have been all over this PTS in terms of brand sets and gear sets. Those two things have been my primary goal in examining. I've not looked at builds. I've probably put together one tiny little makeshift build, and that's all I did, just to kind of test something I was curious about. But I have to say something in regard to all of these changes. Now, on a general sense, all these changes are actually pretty good. If these changes are rolled the way that they are, we will survive with it, we will take it, and we will do the best that we possibly can with it. The only thing, though, is this. Over time, there's going to have to be some kind of frustration that sets in. And you guys know how it is. Human behavior. We're never satisfied at whatever it is that we get. So we always want more. And we're going to want more. And I think before we get to that point, the developers can actually do some things to shield themselves from this impending more that's going to be coming. And it's going to be really rough if they don't take the time to do exactly, or not. I mean, yeah, whatever it is. It's not like anyone's holding anyone hostage. They can do whatever they want to do. It's their game. But at the end of the day, the game is supposed to make the community and make its player base excited enough to play it. Now, new brand sets being added everywhere is a good thing. New ways of doing things is a good thing. New ways of getting blueprints, great addition to the game. New brand sets, new weapons, everything. Just it's so good. And I'm not going to take anything away from that. I won't. The only thing, though, is there's just one aspect of everything that is still nagging and is still right there somewhere. I have mentioned this in many other videos, but I thought this needs to have its own video because I've been seeing comments to the effect, and even I myself, I've already noticed this a long time ago, and we've been complaining about this. There was a meme on Reddit one time that showed somebody picking up an item that had negative 0.1 of a stat. This was a meme. I don't know if it was true, but in this game, you're going to see stats which the max rolls for these stats are like 10%, right? But the game will give you a 2.5% version just to stunt you and keep you to continue grinding. And here is where the pain point is. You see, the player base of this game is a player base that came from the Division 1. It's not a player base that, they had to market way far and beyond too. It's a player base that came from a game where it took 3 years to get to the point where the game is, that right now the game actually has people playing it even when there's a sequel. That's crazy. Destiny 1, I don't know anyone that's playing Destiny 1 right now. I mean, maybe there might be people playing Destiny 1, but we can't say that there's a big, surge of people playing Destiny 1 like there has been a surge of people playing the Division 1. So we're missing something. We're missing an optimization station. If you're going to tell me that an optimization station is supposed to come at the end of the life of the game, sure, I'll say sure. But this is a continuation of another game which reached its end of life at some point. And there's space here. It needs to go here, outside here. Like right here where I'm standing, we need that optimization station. It's going to accomplish two goals. The first goal is it's going to give everybody something to look forward to min-maxing their gear. And the second is it's going to give even the developers their own desire to have us continue to grind. So how are we going to play this? Well, let's split this into two parts. Say part A, the developers want us to keep grinding for the perfect gear, which we'll probably never get. But we want an optimization station so that we can fulfill that desire of getting the perfect gear. So we come to the optimization station, we take this and we start to optimize it. 3.5%, 4.5%, 5.5%. Then we run out of materials. Well, what is the cost of optimization? Is it costly enough for us to go around the game and grind for the resources to do it? It needs to be so. Optimization needs to be very expensive because you're wanting to make your gear or your brand set 100% at its efficiency. So that should cost you in terms of whatever the developers want to use, maybe materials, maybe currency. It needs to be expensive. Now, it should not be overboard where it makes people go, what the heck is this? Why even put it in the game anyways? At the same time, while we're grinding to actually optimize our gear, we might come in contact with the item that we actually need and not need to go on optimizing and then now move on to optimizing another gear piece which then will take more resources and more time. Either way, the developers still gain because we're going to still be present in the game, still carrying out the activity of loot farming and grinding, which is exactly what a live service game or a live service development team wants. So why they're holding back this optimization station as some kind of carrot on a stick makes no sense, because here's what's going to happen. They want to run this patch through with all these changes and not give the one thing that's a pain point in terms of RNG. And so this makes it all superficial. I have to be very real. As much as I'm enjoying the new additions to the game, all of this is superficial if the loot quality is still trash. And if the loot quality is still trash, then at the end of the day, this looter shooter is going to go down the drain where it's crawling back from right now to make itself relevant again. And I do not want that to happen, because as many, may not want to admit it, the player and the content creator both have vested interest in the game. The player has paid $60, $120. If they can get 1,000 to 3,000 hours out of this game, they have received their money's worth. If the content creator can get 2,000-3,000 hours worth of a whole bunch of players playing and watching their content, they've also received their ROI in terms of how much time they put into making videos and all that stuff. So I'm not saying it just from my perspective. I say, oh yeah, I just want to have views and all that. I don't have to. I mean, I'm purposefully doing YouTube part-time because I don't want to ever depend on it and still maintain my independence on this platform as well. But at the same time, who wants to be making content for a game that they love if no one's going to be watching the videos? And at the same time, who wants to be playing a game that they love if the game is not going to be rewarding? So every single one of us are in the same boat. Now, yes, a lot of people have moved on. Nobody blames anybody for anything, but I feel like the developers are at this crossroads where I don't think they can really afford to hold back something as critical as this from the community much longer. Now, they may, see that their game is very powerful. They may think that, and The Division is a good game. Don't get me wrong. The Division has actually, in my opinion, many may not agree with me. Even though, yes, Borderlands 3 may be very rewarding. I'm going to be playing it. Once I'm done with these Division videos, I'm going back to Borderlands to grind endgame and put more content up here as well. I have to still give it to The Division. The Division is a unique IP. In its own right, it has earned its own uniqueness, and many players are going to come back, because if you look at the way people are reporting on Ghost Recon right now, some of the issues Borderlands having, it just goes to show that there's no perfect game. I'm not saying The Division is better than them. You might cite Destiny, but you're going to still see all those people still play Destiny and, grind all through it. And then when we come back to New York, people are going to be showing up again. I think the developers are banking on this, but the only thing is, there's a danger in banking on things like that. And that's human behavior you cannot predict. People may not show up, and the game may actually close its doors and leave the developer with a bad rep. See, you cannot bank on a reputation by not doing the right thing, but you can do the right thing and then have a better name. A good name is better than any kind of money that you can call or any kind of situation. If Massive wants to continue to be relevant in the industry as a development team, which I'm not taking away from their work, they have done such a good job on this game. They need to do what is right, and they know what is right. They have the blueprint for a recalibration station. The Division 1 and Division 2 are the same game. They're the same game. They go through the same stress. If you want any proof, go on to Division 1, use all these explosive builds, and you see that the Snowdrop engine has a problem with a lot of fire and explosive builds being used at the same time. It drops your frame rate. That same scenario happens in the Division 2 as well. How crazy is it for me to be able to point out something like this in both games, because I've actually noticed it and I've played both games long enough. So I think I'm done. I think you get the point. Peace.